Have you ever felt tired, achy, or forgetful and wondered why, even though you eat well and try to stay active? The truth is, after 50, our bodies start silently missing key nutrients, vitamins and minerals that quietly power everything from our bones and muscles to our brain and heart. You might not see obvious signs, but these hidden deficiencies are subtly shaping your energy, mood, and overall health every single day, and understanding them could be the difference between just getting by and truly thriving in the years ahead. Vitamin D is one of those nutrients that quietly governs more of our well-being than most of us realize, especially after we cross the threshold of 50. Many people associate vitamin D with sunshine and calcium absorption, and while those are important, the story is far richer and more intricate. Our bodies synthesize vitamin D when our skin is exposed to sunlight, but as we age, this natural production becomes less efficient. The cells in our skin that convert sunlight into usable vitamin D diminish, and our kidneys, which help activate the vitamin, also lose efficiency. This means that even when we think we are getting enough sun, our bodies might still be running on a deficit, and the effects are subtle yet profound. This nutrient is intimately tied to bone health, which is why it often emerges in conversations about osteoporosis and fractures in older adults. Vitamin D acts almost like a messenger, ensuring that calcium from our diet actually reaches our bones and is deposited where it's needed. Without it, calcium remains in the bloodstream, unable to strengthen the very structure that supports our entire body. This silent insufficiency can gradually weaken bones, leaving them brittle over time, even in people who believe they are eating a calcium-rich diet. It's not sudden, and often there are no dramatic warning signs. Instead, there may be minor aches, a tendency to fatigue more easily, or a subtle stoop in posture that we dismiss as a natural part of aging, when in fact it is the whisper of deficiency. Beyond the bones, vitamin D is a key player in the immune system. Its receptors are found in nearly every immune cell in the body, influencing how these cells respond to threats and manage inflammation. Inadequate levels of vitamin D can lead to a less responsive immune system, making older adults more vulnerable to infections or slower to recover from illness. Unlike bones, where the deficiency manifests over years, the immune consequences can feel immediate. Subtle changes in how often we catch colds, how long they linger, or how quickly we feel restored. The interplay between vitamin D and immunity also extends to chronic inflammation, a condition often linked to heart disease, joint stiffness, and cognitive decline. Low vitamin D levels may exacerbate these processes, not by causing them directly, but by subtly tipping the balance in the body's intricate network of signaling and repair. Energy levels and mood are yet another dimension influenced by this remarkable nutrient. People often overlook the connection between vitamin D and how they feel day to day, but research increasingly shows that insufficient vitamin D can contribute to fatigue, low motivation, and even depressive symptoms. This is particularly relevant after 50, when life demands may remain high, but energy reserves naturally decline. It's not just about feeling tired, it's about the body's biochemical capacity to generate and sustain energy, to transmit signals efficiently through nerves, and to maintain hormonal balance. Vitamin D interacts with multiple systems that regulate these processes, from muscle function to endocrine signaling, and a quiet deficiency can make a person feel off in ways they cannot quite explain. Interestingly, the sources of vitamin D extend beyond sunlight, and understanding them is essential for anyone over 50. Fatty fish, fortified dairy, or plant-based milks, and certain mushrooms provide dietary vitamin D, yet typical intake is often insufficient to meet the needs of aging bodies. Supplements can play a crucial role, but they are not one-size-fits-all. The optimal dose varies depending on age, weight, sun exposure, and individual health status, which is why awareness and measurement are important. Blood tests can reveal whether levels are adequate, offering insight into a silent imbalance that may otherwise go unnoticed for years. The subtlety of vitamin D deficiency is what makes it particularly insidious. Many people carry on with mild deficiencies for years without dramatic symptoms, assuming that aches, fatigue, or low mood are just normal parts of aging. Yet each of these signals is a clue, a message from the body that something essential is missing. By paying attention to these signals, by considering sunlight exposure, diet, and possible supplementation, individuals can proactively address deficiencies before they translate into fractures, chronic inflammation, or persistent fatigue. This nutrient is not a magic bullet, but it is a powerful lever for maintaining resilience and vitality. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of vitamin D is how it exemplifies the interconnectedness of the human body. One vitamin touches bones, muscles, immunity, energy, and even mood. demonstrating that our health cannot be reduced to single systems or isolated interventions. It requires attention, curiosity, and often guidance from health professionals, but the payoff is tangible. Maintaining adequate vitamin D can influence not just how long we live, but how fully we inhabit each day, how capable we feel in our bodies, and how effectively we respond to life's challenges. In the quiet shifts of midlife, vitamin D becomes more than a nutrient. It is a messenger, a regulator, and a subtle ally in the ongoing dialogue between our biology and our choices. It reminds us that aging is not merely a process of decline, but an opportunity to engage with our bodies with knowledge, compassion, and curiosity. Recognizing the silent signs of deficiency and responding with care transforms our relationship with energy, mobility, and wellness, allowing us to move, think, and feel in ways that reflect not just survival, but thriving. Magnesium is one of those essential nutrients that operates quietly in the background, rarely grabbing headlines, yet it is central to nearly every process in the body, especially as we cross 50. Unlike some nutrients whose roles are obvious, magnesium works at a microscopic level, influencing the contraction of muscles, the firing of nerves, the rhythm of the heart, and even the subtle orchestration of sleep and stress. After 50, magnesium often becomes more difficult to maintain at optimal levels. Absorption from the digestive tract can decline, kidney function changes, and lifestyle factors like stress, caffeine, and certain medications can deplete it more quickly than we realize. The result is a nutrient gap that is rarely dramatic or sudden, but one that can quietly shape the quality of our daily lives in ways that are easy to overlook. One of magnesium's most immediate roles is in muscle function. Every movement we take for granted, from reaching for a cup of coffee to standing from a chair, depends on muscles contracting and relaxing in a precise dance. Magnesium acts as a natural regulator of this process, ensuring that calcium does not cause excessive contraction. When magnesium levels drop, muscles can become tense, cramp-prone, or weak. People often dismiss these sensations as simple stiffness or signs of aging, but in reality, they are the body signaling a need for this critical mineral. Over time, insufficient magnesium can lead to chronic tension, frequent cramps, and a subtle decline in coordination, which may affect balance and increase the risk of falls, an issue of particular concern after 50. The impact of magnesium extends beyond the muscles, deeply affecting the nervous system. Our nerves communicate through electrical signals, and magnesium acts as a stabilizer, modulating the firing of neurons and preventing overstimulation. A deficiency can contribute to anxiety, irritability, or difficulty concentrating, feelings that are sometimes mistakenly attributed to stress alone or the natural effects of aging. By contrast, adequate magnesium helps the nervous system operate smoothly, reducing excitability, promoting calm, and supporting clear cognitive function. It is remarkable how this single mineral can subtly influence our mood and mental clarity, quietly affecting both how we feel and how we think in our daily lives. Magnesium also plays an indispensable role in regulating the heart. It influences the rhythm of the heartbeat, the relaxation of blood vessels, and the balance of electrolytes that keep the cardiovascular system stable. Low magnesium levels can contribute to palpitations, elevated blood pressure, or a sensation of irregular heartbeats, often leaving individuals wondering why their body seems out of sync. For those over 50, when cardiovascular health becomes increasingly important, maintaining magnesium is not simply a preventative measure, it is a foundational element in preserving the subtle harmony of the body's most vital organ. Sleep, one of the most restorative aspects of health, is another area where magnesium exerts a profound influence. It is intimately involved in the production and regulation of neurotransmitters such as GABA, which encourage relaxation and allow the brain to transition into deep, restorative sleep. As we age, sleep patterns naturally shift, with lighter sleep and more frequent awakenings. Magnesium can help counteract these changes, promoting the kind of deep rest that supports muscle repair, cognitive function, and emotional stability. Its absence may manifest as restless nights, difficulty falling asleep, or waking unrefreshed, conditions that subtly undermine energy and resilience over time. Beyond its immediate physiological roles, magnesium participates in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, influencing everything from energy metabolism to protein synthesis and DNA repair. This makes it a true cornerstone of cellular function, quietly supporting every organ and system. The deficiency is often invisible, with signs emerging gradually as fatigue, muscle tension, mild anxiety, or difficulty sleeping, none of which are dramatic enough to trigger immediate concern but collectively have a significant impact on overall well-being. For someone over 50, these subtle effects can shape daily life, making routine activities feel more taxing and leaving a sense that the body is not quite operating at its full potential. The sources of magnesium are plentiful, yet intake often falls short, particularly with modern diets high in processed foods. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, and even mineral-rich water provide magnesium, but typical consumption patterns frequently fail to meet the needs of aging bodies. Supplementation can be beneficial when dietary intake is insufficient, but it must be approached thoughtfully, considering individual health conditions and absorption factors. Paying attention to magnesium intake, observing subtle bodily signals, and incorporating magnesium-rich foods into daily meals can make a remarkable difference in energy, mobility, and mental clarity. Magnesium's role is a reminder of the interconnectedness of the human body. It links muscles to nerves, energy to sleep, heart rhythm to cognitive function, and mood to cellular health. It demonstrates that the nutrients we often overlook are not minor details but critical contributors to vitality, particularly after 50. When we attend to magnesium, we are not simply taking a supplement or adding a leafy green to a salad. We are participating in a dialogue with our own biology, noticing subtle messages, and responding with care. By recognizing and addressing silent deficiencies like magnesium, it is possible to restore balance, improve resilience, and feel a renewed sense of energy, flexibility, and calm in daily life. Vitamin B12 is one of those nutrients that quietly sustains the most essential processes in the body, yet its importance often goes unnoticed until subtle changes begin to appear. After 50, the risk of deficiency increases significantly because our bodies gradually lose the efficiency to absorb this vitamin from food. The stomach produces less intrinsic factor, a protein critical for B12 absorption, and digestive changes make it harder for the vitamin to reach the bloodstream in adequate amounts. Unlike some nutrients, a B12 shortage may not show dramatic signs at first. Instead, it manifests in ways that are often misattributed to stress, aging, or fatigue, making it a silent but profound influence on overall health. B12 plays a central role in maintaining nerve health. It is essential for the production of myelin, the protective sheath that surrounds nerves and ensures that signals travel quickly and accurately between the brain, spinal cord, and the rest of the body. When B12 levels are insufficient, nerve conduction can slow or become disrupted, leading to sensations of tingling, numbness, or even subtle balance issues. These early warning signs are frequently dismissed as minor inconveniences, but they are the body's way of signaling that the nervous system is under strain. Over time, chronic deficiency can result in more significant neuropathic symptoms, affecting mobility, coordination, and even daily functional abilities. For those over 50, when the nervous system naturally experiences gradual wear, maintaining B12 becomes a key factor in preserving independence and quality of life. Beyond nerve function, vitamin B12 is crucial for brain health and cognitive function. It is intimately involved in the production of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that regulate mood, memory, and concentration. A deficiency can contribute to forgetfulness, difficulty focusing, or what some might describe as brain fog, even in individuals who lead active and mentally engaged lives. These subtle cognitive changes often creep in slowly, making them hard to attribute to nutrition rather than natural aging. Yet research has shown that ensuring adequate B12 levels can help maintain cognitive sharpness and even support long-term brain health, influencing mood regulation, mental clarity, and the ability to process information efficiently. Vitamin B12 also plays a vital role in the production of red blood cells. Without it, the body may begin producing larger, irregularly shaped cells that do not function properly, leading to a condition called megaloblastic anemia. The symptoms can be subtle, such as fatigue, shortness of breath, or a general sense of low energy. Because these signs are not always dramatic, many people attribute them to aging or a busy lifestyle rather than to a nutrient deficiency. Yet this is precisely the silent nature of B12 insufficiency. It quietly affects energy, metabolism, and overall vitality long before more noticeable symptoms emerge. Energy metabolism is another critical area influenced by B12. This vitamin is a key player in converting the food we eat into usable energy at the cellular level, supporting mitochondrial function and ensuring that muscles and organs have the fuel they need to operate optimally. When B12 is lacking, even a nutritious diet may not translate into adequate energy production, leaving the body feeling sluggish and less resilient. For individuals over 50, this subtle decline in energy can impact daily activities, exercise capacity, and even motivation to maintain an active lifestyle, creating a ripple effect that affects overall health and well-being. Dietary sources of B12 include animal products such as meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, but absorption challenges mean that even those who consume these foods regularly may still experience deficiency. Plant-based diets, while helpful in many ways, require careful attention to B12 supplementation, particularly in older adults. Blood tests are often the most reliable way to determine B12 status, as the early signs of deficiency are so subtle that they can easily be overlooked. By monitoring levels and adjusting intake through diet or supplements, it is possible to prevent long-term complications and maintain optimal neurological and cognitive health. The subtlety of B12 deficiency is what makes it particularly important to understand. The body often signals the lack of this nutrient through small, everyday experiences: a fleeting sense of fatigue that doesn't resolve with rest, minor memory lapses, slight tingling in the fingers or toes, or a mood that feels a little off-kilter. Paying attention to these quiet messages and addressing the underlying nutritional gaps can be transformative. Maintaining sufficient B12 supports not only physical health but also mental clarity, emotional balance, and resilience, the very elements that allow life after 50 to remain vibrant and fully engaged. What is remarkable about B12 is how it underscores the interconnectedness of human health. A single nutrient can touch the nervous system, the brain, energy metabolism, and blood production, highlighting how silent deficiencies can ripple across multiple systems. Addressing this deficiency is not about chasing numbers or pills. It is about listening to the body, noticing the subtle signals it provides, and responding with awareness and care. By prioritizing B12, individuals can nurture their nervous system, preserve cognitive function, maintain steady energy, and ultimately engage with life more fully, demonstrating that small nutritional gaps, once understood and corrected, can have profound effects on vitality, independence, and overall quality of life. Calcium is often thought of simply as the mineral that builds strong bones and teeth, but its role in the body extends far beyond structural support. After 50, calcium becomes increasingly crucial, not only for maintaining skeletal strength but also for regulating a wide array of cellular processes that govern everything from muscle contraction to nerve signaling and blood vessel function. The body maintains calcium in a delicate balance, and when dietary intake or absorption is insufficient, it will quietly draw from the bones to maintain essential cellular functions. This subtle extraction can slowly weaken the skeleton over time, often without noticeable symptoms until a fracture or loss of mobility occurs. Bones themselves are living tissue, constantly undergoing remodeling in which old bone is broken down and new bone is formed. Calcium is the primary mineral that provides the density and strength needed for this ongoing process. After 50, particularly in postmenopausal women, the rate of bone loss can accelerate due to hormonal changes that affect calcium metabolism. Men also experience gradual declines in bone density, and when calcium intake is insufficient, these losses can become significant. What makes calcium deficiency so insidious is that the early signs are nearly invisible. Minor aches, a slight decrease in posture, or a feeling of stiffness can be easily dismissed as natural aging, yet they may be the first indications that calcium reserves are being mobilized to maintain essential physiological functions. Beyond the bones, calcium acts as a vital signaling molecule within cells, regulating processes that are fundamental to life. It plays a role in muscle contraction, ensuring that muscles respond appropriately to nerve impulses. Every movement, from lifting a cup to walking upstairs, depends on calcium's ability to enter muscle cells and trigger contraction. A deficiency can lead to subtle muscle weakness, cramps, or delayed responses, which may feel like normal fatigue or minor coordination issues but are actually signs that the body is not functioning optimally. This cellular signaling role extends to the nervous system as well. Calcium helps regulate neurotransmitter release, allowing nerves to communicate efficiently with each other and with muscles. Disruptions in this signaling can influence reflexes, balance, and coordination, all of which become increasingly important as we age and aim to maintain independence and mobility. Calcium also plays a critical role in the cardiovascular system. It contributes to the contraction and relaxation of the heart and blood vessels, helping to maintain a steady heartbeat and appropriate blood pressure. Even subtle insufficiency can have ripple effects, quietly influencing heart rhythm, vascular tension, and overall circulatory health. For individuals over 50, who may already face an increased risk of cardiovascular issues, maintaining adequate calcium levels is a silent but vital strategy for supporting heart function and resilience. Dietary sources of calcium are diverse, including dairy products, leafy greens, fortified plant-based milks, and certain nuts and seeds. However, absorption efficiency decreases with age, and many older adults do not meet their daily requirements through diet alone. Vitamin D plays a complementary role by enhancing calcium absorption, demonstrating how nutrients interact in complex ways to support health. Addressing calcium intake thoughtfully, whether through dietary choices, fortified foods, or supplementation under guidance, can help prevent silent bone loss, maintain muscle function, and support cellular signaling that is critical to overall vitality. One of the most subtle effects of calcium deficiency is its impact on energy and overall physical function. Even without fractures or obvious skeletal issues, low calcium can contribute to feelings of fatigue, reduced stamina, and slower recovery after physical activity. Muscles may tire more quickly, movements may feel heavier, and balance may be slightly impaired. These changes are often attributed to normal aging, yet they are signals that calcium is not fully supporting the body's essential functions. By paying attention to these cues and ensuring adequate intake, individuals can support strength, agility, and endurance, allowing them to remain active and engaged as they age. Calcium's role in cellular signaling also touches processes that influence mood, cognition, and hormone regulation. Intracellular calcium concentrations affect the release of neurotransmitters, the function of the endocrine system, and even the way cells respond to stress and inflammation. This means that calcium deficiency can subtly influence emotional well-being, mental clarity, and the body's ability to adapt to challenges. Ensuring that calcium levels remain sufficient is not only about bones and muscles. It is about supporting the intricate interplay of systems that contribute to resilience, energy, and overall health in midlife and beyond. The importance of calcium after 50 highlights the interconnectedness of nutrition, biology, and aging. It is a reminder that even minerals we take for granted are fundamental to the body's complex machinery. Silent deficiencies can shape daily experiences in ways we barely notice, influencing strength, balance, cognition, and cardiovascular health. By understanding calcium's multiple roles and attending to intake, we honor the subtle messages our bodies send and act in ways that support long-term vitality. Calcium exemplifies how thoughtful attention to essential nutrients can create a foundation not only for structural health but also for the energy, clarity, and resilience that allow life to remain rich and fully lived. Omega-3 fatty acids are among the most remarkable nutrients for maintaining health and vitality after 50, yet they are often overlooked because their benefits are subtle, cumulative, and deeply integrated into the body systems. These essential fats are called essential because the body cannot produce them on its own. They must be obtained through diet or supplementation. Their influence extends far beyond cardiovascular health, touching the brain, joints, eyes, and even cellular function. The story of omega-3s is one of quiet resilience. They work in the background to reduce inflammation, support cell membrane integrity, and ensure that communication between cells is smooth and efficient, all of which becomes increasingly important as the body ages and experiences natural wear and tear. One of the primary ways omega-3s impact health is through their anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is a silent driver of many age-related conditions, from heart disease and arthritis to cognitive decline and mood disturbances. Unlike acute inflammation, which is protective and short-lived, chronic inflammation quietly strains tissues, interferes with cellular function, and gradually undermines resilience. Omega-3s help modulate this process by producing molecules called resolvins and protectins, which actively reduce inflammatory responses at the cellular level. This doesn't mean inflammation disappears completely, but it is regulated in a way that reduces stress on tissues, supports recovery, and preserves function over time. For someone over 50, this subtle regulation can translate into less joint stiffness in the morning, smoother movement during daily activities, and even a more balanced immune response to stress or minor illness. Heart health is one of the most studied and celebrated benefits of omega-3s, and for good reason. These fatty acids support cardiovascular function by helping to lower triglycerides, reduce blood pressure, improve the elasticity of blood vessels, and stabilize heart rhythm. After 50, the risk of heart disease naturally increases, and even small improvements in vascular health can have a significant impact on long-term outcomes. Omega-3s work not by dramatic intervention, but by supporting the body's natural ability to maintain balance, reducing strain on the cardiovascular system, and promoting smoother circulation. The benefits are often invisible day to day, yet over the years they accumulate to protect heart function, stamina, and overall vitality. The brain, too, is deeply influenced by omega-3 fatty acids, particularly docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA, which is a primary structural component of brain cells. Adequate DHA levels support cognitive function, memory, and mood regulation. As we age, the brain's plasticity naturally diminishes, and subtle deficits in omega-3 intake can accelerate cognitive changes. A deficiency may manifest as minor forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, or low mood, all of which are easy to dismiss as normal aging. By ensuring sufficient omega-3 intake, the brain maintains membrane fluidity, facilitates efficient communication between neurons, and supports the production of neurotransmitters that influence mood and motivation. In this way, omega-3s act as quiet guardians of mental clarity, emotional stability, and cognitive resilience. Joint health is another area where omega-3s provide silent but meaningful support. The anti-inflammatory properties of these fats help reduce irritation in joint tissues, supporting smoother movement and reducing stiffness. While omega-3s are not a cure for degenerative joint conditions, their long-term presence in the diet can lessen discomfort and improve flexibility, particularly when combined with a lifestyle that includes regular movement, weight management, and strength maintenance. This subtle reduction in inflammation allows joints to function more efficiently, making daily activities easier and more comfortable, which contributes to an overall sense of freedom and vitality. Omega-3 fatty acids also influence cellular health and the body's broader systems. Every cell membrane is composed of fats, and omega-3s help maintain the right balance of flexibility and stability in these membranes. This affects how nutrients and signals move into and out of cells, how immune cells respond to stress, and even how tissues repair themselves over time. This cellular-level support may not be obvious in the moment, but it accumulates to influence resilience, energy, and long-term health outcomes. By supporting the integrity of every cell in the body, omega-3s act as a foundational nutrient that enhances the body's ability to cope with aging gracefully. Dietary sources of omega-3s include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and anchovies, as well as plant-based options like flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and algae-based supplements. The balance of omega-3s and omega-6 is also important, as modern diets often contain excessive omega-6 fats, which can promote inflammation when not balanced with omega-3s. Ensuring adequate intake, whether through dietary sources or supplementation, becomes increasingly relevant after 50 when absorption, metabolism, and tissue needs can shift. Paying attention to these sources and being mindful of the overall dietary balance allows omega-3s to fully support heart, brain, and joint health, while contributing to energy, mobility, and mental well-being. The impact of omega-3s is a reminder of the interconnectedness of the body's systems. They demonstrate that a single nutrient can influence multiple aspects of health, from the smallest cells to the largest organs, in ways that are often invisible yet profoundly meaningful. Addressing silent deficiencies and ensuring consistent intake allows the body to operate more efficiently, recover more effectively, and resist the cumulative stresses of aging. Omega-3s exemplify the subtle yet powerful ways nutrition shapes life after 50, providing resilience, clarity, and comfort that support not just longevity, but quality of life, vitality, and the capacity to remain active, engaged, and fully present.